So this was a really interesting part of the podcast I found particularly interesting. They were discussing, how Auckland University is basically as bad as the KKK. We all know that. And they get to a part of the conversation where Damien Grant's talking about separatism. And he's talking about how you guys, because it's Shane Tapo and it's John Tamihere in there with him. And Damien Grant's talking about, you guys are into separatism, you're into separatism, you're all for separatism. And then he spins it a bit, and how he basically says, he doesn't use these words, but as a libertarian, he's totally cool with any kind of separatism, whether it's rich white men having their own thing or da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we picked this up when he's just basically started talking about John and Shane being kind of really into separatism, into separate spaces, that sort of stuff, and that's where we're going to pick it up from.
I am heartened to hear the two of you, embracing these issues, because I believe.
Here we go.
I believe.
No, I don't embrace them.
No, we don't embrace it.
I believe. No, but you got queer spaces and you got Maori spaces and so what you're
plenty of Pākehā spaces out there, mate.
And so what you're saying.
Did you see the CEO list today, mate? Exclusively Pākehā. So don't tell us that Pākehā spaces don't exist.
And so what we're saying is that we want to have an environment where people can selectively only be with their own kind and race. And I believe absolutely that
name five Māori mates that come to your house on a regular basis, mate. Name five. No, you accuse us of being separatists, mate. But I want to say to you, Damien, you're the separatist.
You're missing the point.
No. I understand your point, and we get this shit all the time. We live in both worlds every day. Don't accuse us of separatism, Damien.
No, you're saying you are not.
So what Damien Grant's obviously doing, he's trying to be a bit funny, have a bit of play on words, and he's trying to be lighthearted. But the point that's about to get made is actually, as a Māori living in a European-centric situation, they're the ones who are involved. They're the ones who are facing separatism all the time, and it's not pro-Māori; it's pro the other way. It's just a really interesting spin on this whole conversation. Got anything, Chili? Should we keep going?
I just love the fact that Damien Grant is unaware of the history of segregation in New Zealand. There were whites-only areas in New Zealand. Yeah. And there's lots of ways of doing it as well. You want to apply to the country club.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rangi, your application is denied.
Oh, yeah, but we need someone to work in the kitchen. More than welcome to do that. All right, we'll keep going with these two. So you can see it's almost like Damien Grant's trying on some level to be sort of lighthearted, but Shane and John are like, we're not playing this game because this is actually real to us. You're actually minimizing our lives by joking around this. This is a real thing we see. And I just think Damien Grant doesn't come off that well.
Listening to me, I support separatism.
You're talking shit.
I believe you should be able to discriminate on the grounds of race. I believe you should be able to discriminate on the grounds of
we don't, because we live and operate in a bicultural, multicultural world every day, Damien. You don't.
Shane, you know nothing about my life. So,
answer that question. Answer that question, Damien.
With respect, I don't think you should be commenting on the minutiae of my life.
Yeah, okay, tell us about it.
But I fundamentally believe.
Tell us how you operate in a bicultural world on a daily basis, Damien. You don't.
He does this show.
I'm sitting in the room with you.
But we do.
I have no problem with organisations saying, hey, this is for people of our group and our tribe, whether it's your race, whether it's your religion, whether it's your sexuality. I don't care. And if you want to have a space that is exclusively for Māori, I am fine with that. If you want to have a space that is exclusively for Indians, I am fine with that. And if you want to set up a club and it's only for white rich men, I am fine with that too.
Well, Northern Club is.
I believe.
Called the Northern Club.
It's called the Business Rich List, isn't it? Isn't that club we're talking about, Chewy? Maybe the Rich Listers? Maybe? Possibly. There's something else that's coming up as well that I wanted to pre-warn you about. Not in a bad way. But there's a really interesting moment in this where Damien gets called a separatist. Supremacist, sorry. I was just trying to get weird. He gets called a supremacist. Not white supremacist, just a supremacist. And he doesn't like it. And what you see come out is what you see come out a lot. Was he is basically saying, do not call me that there's a quick to and fro about how that that Shane and John are critical of the Israeli government, and guess what word he throws at them, Chewie? Just guess. So he doesn't like words being thrown at him based on what he thinks is a flimsy conclusion, and then within seconds he throws a word far, far, far more serious, in my opinion, at them for an incorrect conclusion. We'll keep going.
I believe that this obsession we have
We don't.
with this obsession we have with, oh my goodness, you
might have an obsession. JT and I don't have an obsession
No.
because we operate in a bicultural world on a daily basis, Damien. Well, how are we obsessed by it? That's the way we operate. We understand we understand our Scottish. We understand
You're
our
the president
Scottish
of the party,
of
Marty,
the
and it's a
party.
rights-based party,
Yeah.
not a race-based
Yeah,
party.
that's right.
And you got to get
John,
that into your head,
yeah,
you fool.
John,
Yeah.
it is called Te Pāti Māori. It is.
What would
a
you want
race-
us to be called?
Yeah.
Like,
don't care.
honky, the not honky party. What would you want us to be
I
called?
have no problem with a race-based party. It does not worry me at all.
rights-based.
hang on.
If you wanna have-
Just in case you listen to the audio podcast and it's a bit jumbly and jargony, Damian Grant is currently talking about the Māori Party being a race-based party, and the president of the Māori Party is sitting there, along with Shane Tapo, saying it's not a race-based party, it's a rights-based party, which I think is probably borne out by the members that belong to the Māori Party who are not Māori. You know, because they've used the Māori Party as the label, people like Damien Grant can throw that out there. But I think it's pretty clear that because anyone can be a member of the Māori Party, whatever race you are, surely it wouldn't be classed as a race-based first. It would be a rights-based, as they're claiming, Chewie.
Oh,
We'll get
Damien Grant.
All right, we'll just get to the end of this. There's only about 60. There's only about
Let's plow
35 seconds to go. 35 seconds to go. So this is the part I want to look at the interaction between. Don't call me that. By the way, you're this.
Talk about that. Like somebody said it's a
Rights-based,
race-based
treaty-based.
party because some racist arrived here
Yeah.
and determined that there should be
Yeah.
racism, right? I didn't. Māori didn't. So Te Pāti Māori is a party for the indigenous people, and they've got constitutional rights upon which they consented to people like Damien to come here. Nice people that we are.
Good people.
Yeah, but they turned on us. and the problem that we've got right now is that we're not allowed to be Māori. We've got to be nice white. We're brown people. And that's what they want us to be. But the problem is that ain't ever going to be, right? So I just want to be a proud Māori. And I want to say I'm a proud Māori rather than feel in saying that I have just jilted him, offended him.
How?
And
No, you
how, I don't
haven't.
know, because
I don't care.
when you're privileged and you're a supremacist and everything's been going your way,
Hold on.
some people do get a bit upset.
You can say I'm privileged, but you shouldn't say I'm a supremacist.
No,
Well, yeah,
you got
you
to
can.
be your taxpayers.
Yeah, but
Comrades,
also.
comrades, we must move on to
No,
issue
Shane, you're
3.
You're about to say
Oh
something.
no! I'm just about to say that on most Māori issues, you are on the other side of the divide from us. You
Name
support,
one.
You support
Name one.
you support the ongoing genocide of our Palestinian brothers and sisters through your support of Israel. That makes you a supremacist.
No, that makes you an anti-Semite.
Comrades, we
There you go.
Oh, I knew it was coming. But
Yeah, well, I
Jesus
told you
Christ,
it was
it's a
coming,
lazy
so-
argument.
It's a very lazy argument. So it was a really interesting conversation, though, and I quite liked that. From looking at the presentation, it looked like Damian Grant was being like matey with him and making a joke, and I could make a joke with my Māori friend sort of thing. And they were just like, no. How about no? How about no?
No, because you can see his angle like 4 miles away. Like Damien Grant thinks he's a deep thinker. I don't see it myself. Like he is a supremacist. You can sit there like if you're defending the status quo of race relations in New Zealand, you are a supremacist. Damien Grant moves in a completely European system. He doesn't have to try and adapt to another culture or anything like that. He can just move around. It's his own culture, and he's perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
And I can understand that sense of comfort because guess what? That's the world that I move around in as well. And this is where people get really bent out of shape when we start talking about using more te reo or trying to get the pronunciation right, the place names right, or that sort of thing, or being a bit more cognizant of other cultures. And they might have needs that are different from ours. They might have backgrounds that are different from ours. As you have to go out of your way. Some people are quite happy to do that. Some people take it as a mortal insult. And I think when someone turns around and goes, "You're a supremacist," I think that's twigged as, oh, fuck, that's a little bit close to home. Yeah. You know, and I think they're quite right to draw a parallel between his support of Israel and this, because, again, that is supporting a supremacist society that's trying to inflict their will on another people. He can see the mirror there, whether he wants to acknowledge it or not. There's a fucking mirror pointing right at him on that one.
I think as well, for me, and Chewy, I've been talking to a few people around Dunedin, friends and some family as well, about what we do here. And when we start talking about this, I always talk about how this podcast by some, me, probably you, but I know personally through me, have been labelled anti-Semitic by several people, if not groups, whatever. And what you just saw was that kind of tactic where Zionists will use possibly one of the most serious offensive sort of accusations. Like saying racist to me doesn't feel as heavy as anti-Semite. I don't know why, but you can have maybe many flavors of racism, but there's only one flavor of anti-Semite. Yeah. And they use
it a weight of history. Yeah, behind that word.
And they use it as a cover-all, get out of jail free card. And what you just heard there was Shane, I think it was, saying that you support the genocide in Gaza. Nothing about Judaism in that statement. Nothing about, faith. There's no faith-based positions in there. It's talking about, now you can even, when I say you can argue, I don't mean I would argue, but one could form an argument to push back on the genocide word if they wanted to. But no, all of that gets skipped over and they go straight to because you're an anti-Semite. Yeah. Because you've said that I support the country that, in your opinion, is committing genocide, you're an anti-Semite. And it's just, it's almost, to the Jewish community, it's almost disrespectful, because how much power does that take away from actual anti-Semitism? Saying, oh, you disagree with Netanyahu, anti-Semite. How much power does that take away from honest, real truthful anti-Semitism?
Yeah, absolutely. Damien threw that out like he's at Hogwarts practicing a spell.
Like he had it loaded, ready to go.
Yeah. He was ready to go. Anti-Semite, duck and cover. Like it's fucking bullshit. Because not every Jew has gone out and invaded Gaza. Israel has. The country of Israel, the state of Israel has. There are enough. Like, there's so many Jews worldwide that are like, not in my name. That are standing against this. He's completely ignoring them. But as you said, people throwing that around, throwing away the anti-Semite thing, just removes power. There are times where calling someone an anti-Semite is it's in the toolbox. But every time it's thrown around, it's just like it's empty. Yeah. Like Damien threw that around like it was empty.
It's actually almost, how people put up on Twitter and stuff when they get blocked by a particular disgusting person, they put that screen grab and they go, that's a win for me. This person's blocked me. I know some people on the right have done that to me because other people have shown me. But when someone calls you an anti-Semite for criticizing the policies and the IDF, the policies of Israel and the IDF, it's almost a badge of honor now, I think, almost, because the only people doing it are the most revolting people who themselves are either Jewish or Zionists, Israelis or Zionists, and when they do it to you, it's like, oh, okay, so you're not prepared to engage at all because you're doing that thing that is absolutely, you're running away. Someone just put in, I think it was Gold actually, just put in the chat, I didn't start it though, is there a Godwin's law for anti-Semitism? There we go. For those who don't know, Godwin's law is the longer an internet conversation goes on, the chance or the rate of Hitler being, or Nazism being evoked grows. is there a Godwin's law for falling back on anti-Semite when the argument is lost? Yeah, possibly there is gold as well.